2,000 miles of open water in every direction. And then, nothing. Just the wind. Once, every soul here was carried off by fire and handed the whole modern world instead. Almost all of them came back. Anyone can see how hard it is to live out here. The mystery is why they would never live anywhere else. "1,500 miles in one direction, 1,700 in another, 2,400 in a third." Those are the distances from Tristan da Cunha to the nearest inhabited island, the nearest city, and the nearest continent. The nearest neighbor is St. Helena, 1,500 miles north, the island where Napoleon once sat in exile. Cape Town lies 1,700 miles east. The coast of South America runs nearly 2,400 miles to the west. Tristan falls on no shipping lane, no flight path, and no undersea cable. The internet that reaches it now leans on a satellite link. What fills that emptiness is wind. The island sits at the edge of the roaring 40s, the band of latitude where westerlies sweep around the planet without ever meeting land. Sailors named the belt for the sound. The gusts reach the island at full strength and pile the sea into long grey ridges. For much of the year, the swell alone decides whether anything moves. The island itself is one shield volcano, black rock lifted from the sea floor. Its coast is mostly cliff, with no stretch flat enough for a runway, so there is no airport. There has never been one. Everything and everyone arrives by sea. The scale is hard to hold until you set it beside something known. A ship out of Cape Town takes longer to reach Tristan than Apollo 11 took to reach the moon. 3 days brought the astronauts 250,000 miles. The same 3 days barely closed the gap to this island. From a distance, it reads as one unbroken wall in the water, a shape that turns ships away rather than welcomes them. 2,000 miles of water on every side, one volcano in the middle of it. The journey begins at a dock in Cape Town, with a ship's horn and a slow turn toward open water. There is no other way to come. Roughly 8 to 10 times a year, a fishing or research vessel makes the run south. A seat on one of them is the only ticket. Nothing departs on demand, and no commercial flight has ever crossed this water. The passage takes 6 to 10 days, through the heavy seas of the 40s. It is the kind of voyage that keeps you flat for the crossing. There is no Coast Guard waiting at the far end, no lifeboat an hour away. A ship in trouble out here is on its own. Even arrival guarantees nothing. A ship can reach the island and then anchor offshore for days, rolling in the swell until the sea drops enough to let you land. Within hours of leaving Cape Town, the mainland and its towers sink below the horizon and do not return. After that, there is water, the ship, and the slow count of days. Every crate of food, every drum of fuel, every letter rides the same long passage. When a young islander leaves for study overseas, this is the boat, and the next chance to come home may be months away. 8 chances a year to leave, 5 seconds / greater than the same 8 to come back. A harbor usually means shelter. Calshot Harbor offers almost none. This is the only doorway on the island, a small basin of concrete on the northwest shore. It carries the name of an English village. Calshot, in Hampshire, is where the islanders sheltered during their years of exile, and they brought the name home with them. Through this one gap passes everything the island cannot make: fuel, medicine, mail, flour, the parts that keep the generators running. The trouble is the water around it. The shallows hide reefs, so the cargo ships that come this far cannot dock. They anchor offshore and wait while everything is moved ashore on small flat boats called pontoons. A car, a digger, a year of supplies, each is craned off the deck and lowered onto a pontoon over open swell. Then it is run in through the narrow mouth of the harbor. One bad wave can end the day. The sea has taken boats here before. In 1885, a single accident off this coast took most of the island's grown men in a single day. The community has measured its risks against the water ever since. 2 fishermen read the weather before dawn. When they judge it fair, they ring an old fuel drum, the island's signal, and the boats go out. When the sea turns, which is often, the harbor closes completely. No boat in, no boat out. For days at a stretch, the supply ship simply waits, and the island lives on what is already in the store. On those days, it becomes again what it has always been, underneath, a fortress with the drawbridge up. In 1506, a Portuguese navigator named Tristan da Cunha sighted the island and could not land on it. The surf was too heavy. He left his name on the chart and sailed away, and the place stayed empty for another 300 years. The next arrival had a reason to stay. In 1816, the British Army annexed the island, posting a garrison to guard against any plot to free Napoleon from St. Helena. Tristan became the most remote outpost of the empire. When the soldiers withdrew a year later, a Scottish corporal named William Glass asked to remain. He stayed with his family and 2 other men, and the 3 of them wrote down how the place would work. The rule was short. The land would be held in common, goods would be shared. No man would stand above another. Over the following decades, the community grew the only way it could, from the sea. A Dutch sailor anglicized his name to Green. 2 American whalers named Rogers and Hagen settled and married. When an Italian ship wrecked off the island in 1892, 2 of her crew, Repetto and Lavarello, chose to stay. Add the founding Glass and the early Swain, and the whole island now runs through 7 family names. Then walk the settlement today, and every door belongs to one of those 7. The founders came from Scotland, England, Holland, Italy, and the United States. That is why the island speaks an English of its own, stitched together from all of them. Two centuries of marriage inside one small group left another mark too, one the island would only measure much later. Seven names, one family, one charter, still unbroken. Every person on the island lives in one place, a single village on the narrow shelf of flat land below the volcano. Its name is grand for its size, Edinburgh of the Seven Seas, after a royal visit in 1867. Most people just call it the settlement. The houses sit low against the wind, single story, their roofs of corrugated iron, painted red and green and blue above the grass. No high buildings, no traffic. There is a school that teaches the island's children to the age of 16. There is a small hospital, a post office, and one shop. Supplies are ordered months ahead against the next ship. The island runs its own radio, a cafe, and a pub called the Albatross, the social heart of the settlement on a Saturday night. Money came late here. Hard cash only reached the island in 1942, and the place still runs largely on what it makes and mends itself. Wool from the island's own sheep is carded, spun, and knitted under a local label, sold to the rare visitor who makes it this far. Two miles west of the houses, the ground breaks into a grid of small walled fields. The islanders call it the Patches, and for 200 years it has been the line between eating and going hungry. Potatoes grow here, and little else needs to. When the supply ship runs late by weeks or months, the Patches feed the island. The stone walls are the reason anything grows at all. The wind off the Atlantic carries salt. Salt and squalls together will burn a seedling before it sprouts. So each plot hides behind hand-stacked basalt. Every family works its own ground, feeds it with fresh seaweed hauled up from the shore, and digs the crop by hand. At harvest, the fields fill with entire families and packed lunches, the hardest work of the year turned into something close to a holiday. And above the fields, the slopes climb into open pasture, and the same idea takes another form. All the land belongs to the community, not to any one person, and only an islander may hold any of it. Around 300 cattle and 500 sheep graze 1,000 acres of thin grass. The number each family may keep is fixed by law. The grass began to fail, worn down by grazing and by an imported weed that crowds the pasture. Once again, the island cut the cattle quota, down to a single breeding cow per household. The limit guards the grass. It also does something quieter. On Sunday morning, the whole settlement moves toward one building. St. Mary's, the island's Anglican church, was raised in 1923 from blocks of volcanic rock and timber salvaged off wrecked ships. A tin roof tops it, and a hedge of hydrangeas grows behind a stone wall built to break the wind. About 4 in 5 islanders worship here. The rest cross to the small Catholic church a short walk away. On the days that matter most, the two congregations take turns and share one service. Inside, the talk carries an accent that exists nowhere else. The island's English grew out of Scottish, English, American, Dutch, and Italian voices, sealed in by distance and handed down for 2 centuries. A Danish scholar came all the way here in the 1960s to write the first study of it. And linguists still sail this far to record it before it thins into ordinary speech. Spoken slowly, it sounds almost familiar. Spoken among islanders, it closes ranks like a code. The church is only the visible edge of something larger. The islanders run on a custom they call hand for hand. When a family builds a house, the whole community turns out to help. No wages, no bill. In the middle of this ocean, people are the only safety net there is. No one locks a door at night. The single police officer spends his days on paperwork and arrivals, not on crime, because there is almost none to answer. Help given is help returned. That is the economy of the place. Two centuries of one family marrying into itself leave a signature in the blood. On Tristan, that signature is asthma. More than a third of the islanders carry it, one of the highest rates ever recorded. The trail runs back through the family tree to founders who arrived wheezing in the 1800s, William Glass and his wife among them. The place that holds the line is the Carmoli Healthcare Center, the island's only hospital. It is named for the Italian village 2 of the 7 families came from. It was rebuilt in 2017 to British standards, with money sent from London. Yet it still sits a week of open sea from any larger one. One doctor and a few nurses cover everything from a broken arm to a heart attack. A dentist arrives only when a ship can bring one. For anything past their reach, they consult specialists by satellite link to hospitals in Britain, a video call thrown across 1,700 miles of sea. An emergency can mean diverting a fishing boat and steaming days toward Cape Town, the patient holding on throughout. A serious case cannot be driven to a city or flown out within the hour. It has to wait for a ship or for the weather to allow a rescue at all. The hospital before this one, built in the 1970s, still stands nearby, kept on now for storage and the island's animals. This far out, medicine runs partly on patience. On the 10th of October, 1961, the ground behind the village split open. A new volcano rose where there had been pasture, the island's first eruption in living memory. It threw red rock into the air a few hundred yards from the houses. There was no time to argue with it. All 264 islanders left in small boats with what they could carry, and a passing ship took them away. Within days, the most isolated community on Earth was on its way to England. England was the opposite of everything they knew. For the first time, the islanders met television, refrigerators, cars, and avenues lit all night. The British government assumed that no one having seen all of this would choose to go back to a bare island in the South Atlantic. The government was wrong. They had been housed in England at a place called Calshot in Hampshire, and they carried that name home and gave it to their harbour. A vote was held. Almost every islander, near enough to all of them, chose to go back. They said they missed the sound of the sea, the open space, and a place where no one was ever left behind. In 1963, they sailed home and rebuilt their houses on the old stone foundations, 2 years after the fire drove them out. The cone itself still stands at the edge of the settlement, grey and bare, a hill that was not there within living memory. Then children climb it now. Their grandparents remember it arriving. The lava that emptied the village had poured straight into the sea, reshaped the coastline, and buried the old lobster factory under black rock. Then it cooled into a new shoulder of land that now shields the harbor from the worst of the northeast swell. Today, the islanders walk the lava flow for exercise across the same ground that once chased them across an ocean. Fire emptied the island. The island filled itself back up. The whole island is one mountain, and its summit has a name. Queen Mary's Peak rises 6,700 feet, the highest point in the South Atlantic. It is the crater of the volcano that made everything below it. Mary of Teck, Queen to King George V, gave it her name. For centuries, sailors used its cone as a marker on the long route between Europe and the Indian Ocean. From the sea, it shows a clean shape, snow on the upper slopes through winter, black basalt, and blue water beneath. Clear days are rare. Cloud sits on the summit most of the year, so the full view from the top is a thing the islanders earn rather than expect. Yellow sulfur streaks the inner walls of the crater, the volcano's chemistry written on the rock. The climb takes 5 to 10 hours up steep ground, into gusts strong enough to put you down. The first recorded climb came within a year of the settlers' landing, and the route up has barely eased 2 centuries on. Guides still warn that the weather at the summit can turn from clear to blind in minutes. A crater 1,000 feet wide. A small lake inside is shaped like a heart. It freezes over through the winter, and the islanders call it the heart of the island. From the rim, you can see the curve of the earth on the horizon. There is no other land in sight, no ship, no smoke. Just water in a full circle, and the island falling away beneath, the way it must have looked the day it first broke the surface. On an island ringed by cold and gales, one corner stays warm. Sandy Point, on the sheltered east coast, hides behind high cliffs that block the westerlies, and the air there is mild enough to grow fruit. Apple, peach, and plum trees stand among the ferns. A stand of pine the early settlers planted is the closest thing the territory has to a wood. And all of it is tended on holidays, when families boat around the coast to camp and pick the crop. The permanent residents are not human, sub-Antarctic fur seals. A colony hauls out on the black volcanic sand. The Tristan group holds more than 8 in 10 of every fur seal of that kind on the planet. At the eastern end, northern rockhopper penguins come ashore between late winter and early summer to breed. They return again to molt, small and loud, with yellow crests and red eyes. The islanders call them Pinnamans. They show no fear of people and study the rare visitor with the same open curiosity you bring to them. Their numbers have fallen sharply across the region over the past century, which makes a sheltered cove like this count for more than its size. Few places left on Earth let you stand this close to wild animals that never learned to fear them. Out on the cliff edges, a different bird rides the wind. The Atlantic yellow-nosed albatross nests on the steep rim of the main island, sharing the cliffs with darker, sooty albatrosses. Here, the gales that punish everything else become a runway. Its wingspan reaches near 7 feet. The bird locks its wings and lets the moving air over the 40s carry it. It trades height for speed and speed for height, banking along the rock face on currents that would knock you flat. It can cover hundreds of miles in a day without a single beat. A pair raises a single chick a year, no more, so a breeding season lost to a storm costs the colony dearly. That one chick sits on a bare ledge for months, fed between flights that cross hundreds of miles of open sea. Then the cliffs that make the island so hard to reach are exactly why the albatross chooses them. Nothing climbs to the nests. Far out at sea, the same birds drown on baited fishing lines by the thousand. That is why a colony on cliffs, no boat can reach matters so much. The gale that closes the harbour is the same gale that holds the chick to the ledge. In 2020, the sea around Tristan became one of the largest protected areas on the planet. 265,000 square miles of ocean were closed to fishing and mining at a stroke. It is the fourth largest fully protected reserve on Earth, and the biggest in the Atlantic. More than 9/10 of the island's waters are now off-limits. Tristan's territory is mostly sea, not land. Below the surface, kelp forests rise from the seabed in columns taller than buildings. They break the force of the waves before it reaches the cliffs and shelter thousands of animals, including fish and cold water corals found nowhere else. Among them moves the one creature the island's economy is built on. The Tristan rock lobster lives only in these waters. To the islanders, it is their green gold. Then the fishery that lands it is certified as sustainable, worked only by day and only in season. Strict limits keep the stock alive for the next generation. Around 400 tons come ashore each year, and most of it ends up on plates a hemisphere away. When the catch comes in, the village changes shifts. The signal is the same old drum that calls the boats out. Plumbers, teachers, and clerks leave their day jobs to pack lobster at the factory, then return to those jobs once the boats are empty. an industry shared out across everyone. Deeper still, the giants pass through. Southern right whales bring their calves into Tristan's water on the migration north. They are two of more than 10 kinds of whale and dolphin that move through here. The rarely seen shepherd's beaked whale surfaces in these waters, a species most ocean scientists never lay eyes on. Blue sharks breed offshore, and broad-nosed seven-gill sharks patrol the kelp, a prehistoric outline holding the food chain in balance. In these waters, a shark means the sea is still healthy. The island has more ocean than any nation could police, so it chose to protect nearly all of it. The richest part of Tristan is the part no one lives on. Some names are a dare. This one is a verdict. Inaccessible Island, a wall of rock 20 miles southwest of the settlement. Its cliffs rise 1,000 feet straight out of the sea, with no beach and no easy landing. For centuries, the name kept its promise to stranded sailors and curious crews alike. That same wall of stone made the island a vault, because almost nothing can get ashore. The rats and cats that wreck island life everywhere else never arrived. So the inaccessible island rail still lives here, a bird barely the size of a sparrow, and the smallest flightless bird left on Earth. The place around it has changed little in millions of years. With no predators to flee, it never needed wings. The spectacled petrel breeds here and nowhere else on the planet. UNESCO lists the island as a World Heritage Site, and to a biologist, the place is a sealed sample of an older world. The cliffs have written their own history in shipwrecks. In 1821, the Blendon Hall struck the rocks. Her survivors lived off the land for months before the people of Tristan came for them. Later, two German brothers, the Stoltenhoffs, landed on purpose to hunt seals and live free of the world. They lasted 2 years before the island wore them down. When a passing scientific expedition called in the 1870s, It found the brothers half-starved and desperate for a way off. They left the way everyone leaves inaccessible, glad to be taken off. Past the others, the map runs out at a lone cold dot. Gough Island sits 250 miles south of the rest, alone in colder water. It was first charted by a Portuguese sailor, then renamed for a British sea captain, and has no native population. The only people on it are a handful of scientists and technicians at a South African weather station. They live in prefabricated huts, sending up the readings that feed forecasts across the southern hemisphere. Its own peak rises near 3,000 feet, and a relief ship reaches the station just once a year. Gough matters for what nests there. It holds almost the entire world population of the Tristan albatross. Its wingspan can reach 11 feet. It can cross 1,000 miles of ocean without once beating its wings. Some 8 million seabirds breed across its slopes. The island is the albatross's one true stronghold, which turns a small local problem into a global one. The problem is mice. Sailors left house mice on Gough in the 1800s. Over generations, the mice grew large and learned to eat seabird chicks alive. They take close to 1 million of them a year. Then the albatross evolved with no land predators and no defense, so a chick will sit still on the nest while it is killed. To stop it, conservation teams spent years and millions of pounds on one of the most ambitious eradication efforts ever attempted on any island. In 2021, helicopters spread bait across the whole island to clear every last mouse. 4 months later, a camera caught one alive. The effort had failed. The survivors bred back, and their numbers climb again. The aim had been to save a bird that nests almost nowhere else, and that bird is still losing ground. From Gough, the nearest other land is the rest of Tristan, itself the most remote inhabited place on Earth. Out here, even the neighbors are unreachable. That is the shape of the archipelago in the end, a chain of volcanoes too far for almost anyone to reach. holding species that live nowhere else. They are watched over by people who keep choosing this ocean over an easier one. At dusk, the islands pull back into the haze, a solitary green point in a circle of open water. They are exactly as remote as the day they were found, and exactly as alive. For most of the world, distance is a problem to be solved. On Tristan da Cunha, distance is the thing that keeps the place whole. It holds back the noise and the crowds. It guards a sea full of whales and a sky full of albatross. And it protects something the rest of the planet keeps misplacing. People here are genuinely each other's only safety net, and they act like it. In a century that can reach anywhere in a second, here is a place that decided not to be reached. 220 people, 7 family names, 1 volcano in 2,000 miles of water. They held the modern world in their hands once, in England, and they chose to hand it back. That is the answer the ocean was hiding. They do not stay in spite of the isolation. Then the isolation is the reason they stay. It has kept the place whole and kept them holding on to each other.